message from the United States to Iran in the form of a strike against 3 of their nuclear sites. This as the Israel-Iran war stretches into its 2nd week. President Trump claiming victory, saying Iran's nuclear supply is obliterated. Top leaders at the Pentagon saying this attack was planned for months and weeks. It was highly classified, with most of D.C. left in the dark and only a few key leaders in the know. Secretary Hegseth and Joint Chief of Staff Chairman Kane made it clear that Iran was unaware of the attack and they don't believe they fired back at all. They say the final battle damage isn't clear just yet, but their targets are largely destroyed. Rebecca Castor joining us live from Washington, D.C. with the latest after an early morning press conference. Hi, Rebecca.
Hi, Taylor. During the Pentagon's briefing this morning, we learned last night's attack was called Operation Midnight Hammer, and the element of surprise was key. You had President Trump saying publicly that he was going to decide within 2 weeks on whether to strike. Then several B-2 bombers flew over the Pacific yesterday morning as decoys while the strike team was headed towards Iran.
A wave of missiles targeting Israel, retaliation from Iran for American strikes on its nuclear facilities.
Iran's key nuclear enrichment facilities have been completely and totally obliterated.
Using bunker buster bombs and Tomahawk missiles, U.S. military forces struck 3 Iranian nuclear sites, including one buried deep inside a mountain.
Our objective was the destruction of Iran's nuclear enrichment capacity and a stop to the nuclear threat posed by the world's #1 state sponsor of terror.
My country has been under attack, under aggression, and we have to respond.
President Trump warned of more attacks if Tehran does not negotiate a peace deal.
We will go after those other targets with precision, speed, and skill.
The president monitored the strikes from the Situation Room alongside Vice President J.D. Vance and senior advisors. In Israel, Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu praised President Trump's decision.
President Trump and I often say, peace through strength. President Trump and the United States acted with a lot of strength.
But there are fears this could spark a broader regional war, and some lawmakers are questioning the president's authority to order the strikes.
The only entity that can take this country to war is the U.S. Congress.
Fox has told the White House did give congressional leaders a courtesy heads up before the strike. Taylor.
And we know the president keeps talking about negotiating a nuclear deal with Iran. Does this attack hurt or help that cause?
Well, that question is the big question mark right now. You heard President Trump there warn Iran that if they did not come to the table, that the U.S. military has more targets that it intends to strike. He didn't give details on what those targets might be, but we do know just a few days ago, last week, President Trump implied that the U.S. military knows where Iran's supreme leader is hiding, and they could, that could be one of their targets if he doesn't come to the table. He said last week, we aren't going to kill you for now, but we know where you're hiding. So a lot of back channel discussions are happening to see if Iran is going to come to the table or not.
All right, Rebecca Castor live for us from Washington, D.C. this morning. Thanks so much. Well, some Washington lawmakers are not siding with the president. Congressman Adam Smith, a ranking member of the House Armed Services Committee, says he condemns in the strongest terms the U.S. military strike. Smith says the president did not seek authorization from Congress and failed to show clear objectives for these actions. Meantime, Republican Representative Dan Newhouse said in part, I stand with our ally Israel while we work together to end this dangerous regime's efforts towards a nuclear weapon of mass destruction. Another Republican House member, Michael Baumgartner, also declared his support for the president's actions, saying, quote, I fully support President Trump's decision to bomb Iran's nuke reactor. Trump gave Iran a choice. Democratic U.S. Representative Pramila Jayapal didn't miss words when she said, in part on X yesterday, the authority to declare war belongs solely to Congress. Congress must immediately exercise our duty to restrain this president.